My dad really is the one that primarily was the big influence on me in getting into riding. He grew up riding dirt bikes, and he absolutely loved, ate, slept, breathed motorcycles in general. And a lot of the riding he did as a kid was on dirt bikes. And so that was kind of his hobby or his recreation when he had any time off work, was he would go out to the desert and ride dirt bikes. So as I was growing up, he got me little Honda XR 80s, and when I got a little bit bigger, he got me the 100cc version. So he took me out at a very, very young age and really taught me how to ride out in the deserts of Southern California. And even before that, he had me on, when I was 3 or 4, the power wheels, and then the scooters, just anything 2 wheels. My dad had me on and riding at a very, very young age. So it was very much that father influence that really got me riding at a very young age in life. I'm Matt Laidlaw, a YouTube content creator and general sales manager at Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson in Los Angeles, California. To me, riding, it means a lot of things, and it has a lot of functional or practical reasons that I do it, and also recreational. So to me, riding is obviously transportation, getting to and from work, and also kind of like I mentioned already, my recreation. There's nothing I love better than to get a group of friends and go ride out to Death Valley or the Sequoias, or just do like a day trip to Neptune's Net on the coast of California, or go to Julian, California. There's just a million places that we like to go. And so, yeah, to me, riding it just fulfills so many different aspects of my life and needs. Obviously, riding is also what I do professionally. I sell Harley-Davidson motorcycles. And so being able to communicate that love of motorcycles that I have to customers that walk through the door, and to people, that watch my YouTube content, it's what I'm all about. The best way I can describe it for me is connecting with nature and just feeling all the elements that, God's given us on this earth. So, and I always tell people too, if you go up Highway 1, Pacific Coast Highway in a car, it doesn't really do nearly as much for you than if you were to do it on a motorcycle, because you can't see and feel it like you can on a motorcycle. And when I go on a long ride and I get back, it completely clears your head. And I know that is kind of maybe the overly used, and a lot of people say that, but really what I can kind of relate that to is if you go out, any outdoor recreational activity, whether it be snowboarding, which I'm a huge fan of, or camping or hiking, any of these things where you get very grounded and you connect with nature. And when you get back home, it's almost like the little things in life don't bother you as much anymore. It's like, okay, I can see the big picture now a little bit better. And motorcycling 100% does that. Yeah, back in, I want to say 2008 or 9, my dad and I went on the Love Ride together. For a long time there, it was the largest single day ride in the country, I believe. It wasn't considered a rally or anything like that, but just a single day ride. And it was one where we all met at Glendale Harley-Davidson, and they always had a lot of cool celebrities and things come out there, and so we got to meet a lot of cool guys. We took a ride out to the Pomona Fairgrounds, and just kind of being among thousands of riders, traveling down the freeway in an escorted manner it was rad. And just to hear the sound of thousands of Harley-Davidson's engines and exhaust at the same time, it's one of the most amazing feelings. And I felt it before in other rides. That's certainly not the only ride I've done, but it was one that was kind of early in my full-time career as selling Harley-Davidsons. and, a time that I was able to kind of experience with my dad. And so that really stands out a lot. And another ride that really stands out is one time, this was probably around 2013 or 14, we took a group of my coworkers and we all rode out to Death Valley. And we timed it just perfect. I believe it was like around this time, around April or May. And just riding out there that night, there was like this like thunderstorm shower thing going on. And just having that out like on the dunes was just surreal and amazing. And just riding through Death Valley and just seeing all the cool natural kind of phenomenons that happen out in Death Valley with perfect weather as well was just pretty awesome. Well, the place I want to go is southern Utah. I was talking about it yesterday with my coworkers that I really want to put a trip on the calendar to go to like Bryce Canyon. That area is phenomenal. Just the mountain, the arches and everything that you can find out there are pretty amazing. There's not too many places like it in the world. So yeah, I'd like to do like a 2 or 3 night stay up in Zions and Bryce Canyon up in southern Utah. So that's what I'd like to do. And right now, I don't know what the legalities of everything and staying inside is, but quite frankly, I feel like getting out on the road on a motorcycle, there's nothing wrong with that right now. Of course, you don't have the hotels and the restaurants open, but to get out on a day trip, I think it's the perfect activity that you can be doing right now with this whole coronavirus thing. Maybe I'm out of line. Maybe the governor or the president wouldn't agree with me, but to get out on a motorcycle and to get out on the open highways, if I can see one silver lining in this whole thing, it is that highways are open right now. I mean, there's no one on the roads, and that's not a good thing. Believe me, I'd rather have people at work and the traffic of LA that we're used to. I'd rather have that. But like I said, the silver lining is the roads are empty right now. And so, getting out on what was once really busy roadways or PCH out by Santa Monica up to Malibu, where it's normally extremely crowded. Dude, I'm all about get out there right now and enjoy it and enjoy the roads right now, especially if your work has been put on hold or if you're working at home and you have a little extra time. In my opinion, now is the time right now to get out there and take a day trip, get on the bike and experience it, man. There's not too many times in Southern California where you can get out there with the lack of traffic that we have right now. I ride because of what I do professionally. I sell Harley-Davidson motorcycles, and so I love to see people pick up the sport and the hobby of riding motorcycles and to pass on my love and enjoyment of riding motorcycles like my dad did to me. It's very rewarding. I'm very fortunate in the fact that, I'm not doing a dumb, boring office job. No offense to anybody that does that type of work, but I'm very fortunate that I get to pass on to new riders my love for, riding on 2 wheels. Yeah, LiveWire really excites me a lot. I think that one of the major criticisms that Harley-Davidson's had over the years is that they are just relying on their same old V-twin air-cooled pushrod technology that they've been doing for a long time, which I love, by the way, and I think they should always have that. But to come out with something like LiveWire that is so advanced in technology, especially in this industry, Harley's the first major manufacturer to come out with an electric bike. It's awesome to see Harley do something like that, and in Harley-Davidson's way. Some of these other electric motorcycle companies that are making bikes right now, their execution is nowhere near what Harley-Davidson's is, as far as the fit and finish, the quality, just the way all the parts kind of meld together, everything specifically designed for the LiveWire. And so I'm a huge fan of it. I love it. We were actually just messing around with it yesterday on our demo unit, setting up the HD Connect on it. But I think it's great to see Harley-Davidson, kind of break that mold of what people expect from them and come out with something like the LiveWire. And so I absolutely love it. I feel like it's going to take a little time for the core Harley-Davidson customer to kind of attach onto it and to really start having the same passion that I have for it. And either that or, new people, new blood coming into the Harley Davidson world, whether it be your electric car enthusiasts or whatever, come in and enjoy that bike. We haven't seen, explosive sales in the live wire yet, and I don't think Harley Davidson really anticipated it would be that because the live wire is very much their halo model, and it is an expensive motorcycle. But I think as Harley Davidson kind of bolsters its offering and its portfolio, I think more people will adopt that technology. And I think there's just things that are just misconceptions out there right now as far as range and range anxiety, and people don't really understand, or I think sometimes you have to break it down to people that, hey, you know what, your typical ride that you normally do isn't more than 120 or to 140 miles anyways. And so this whole idea of you getting stranded out on the road is really not applicable in 90% of your riding. Unless you're a guy that tours the country for long distance, the whole range is a non-issue. And so anyways, I don't want to get on a tangent on that, but the live wire, the long and short of it, is an amazing bike. I love the push right now that Harley Davidson's doing with test rides, because everybody who's ever ridden that bike loves it. They get off it and just immediately, and I don't know what they were expecting, but they get off and they say, I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if they weren't expecting just how amazing the power delivery is or what, but it's a bike that you really gotta experience it first, and you have to open your mind a little bit. I feel like so many of the core Harley Davidson customers are very closed-minded to just the feeling and the mechanicalness that they're used to, which is great, but at the same time, it doesn't hurt to kind of experience more than what you're used to.